Jeb Bush has now been shouted down by Black Lives Matter protesters. Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush's town hall in North Las Vegas yesterday ended pretty abruptly when Jeb was answering what may have been the last question of the event, but maybe not. It was a question about racial inequality, and Black Lives Matter advocates started chanting as he made his exit. The former Florida governor was asked about his views on racial disparities in the criminal justice system, which have been amplified by recent incidents of unarmed black men dying as the result of the guns of white police officers, a very important issue and one which by and large the Republican Party doesn't discuss much. Rand Paul will kind of discuss it, right, Lewis? He's the one guy who will bring this up in a context that is even remotely grounded in reality. But for the most part, this is not an issue that Republicans are too eager to address.
No, and perhaps they feel they don't need to address it. Are they going to win the black vote anyway? Is this something they need to focus on? I mean, certainly if they actually care about it, it should be a part of their platform, right?
No question about it. And Jeb Bush, to his credit, said these problems have gotten worse in the last few years. And he said that communities no longer trust the basic institutions in our society that they need to trust. But it's so underhanded because he's asked a pretty straightforward question about racial disparities and inequality. And he finds a way to just turn it into actually like an anti-government, the government is bad statement by saying, hey, there's basic institutions here that we should be able to trust that we're not able to trust, which is all, Lewis, a very thinly veiled reference to government bad, shrink government. Here's some audio and video from the event of him immediately after answering the question, the Black Lives Matter chants starting, and he quickly walked away. Let's take a look at that. This makes a lot more sense to me than protesting Bernie Sanders, but I'm also fine with just protesting every candidate, right? We've now read about this kind of failed attempt at a Clinton rally. Black Lives Matter announced ahead of time that they were going. Security was able to prevent them from getting in, and they ended up actually being able to have a closed door meeting with Hillary Clinton. So certainly a different situation than taking over control of the event from Bernie Sanders. And now seeing the Black Lives Matter protesters at a Jeb Bush event, I think that this is exactly what should be happening. Black Lives Matter, hugely important issues that are being highlighted. For those who counter that by saying, well, actually, it's all lives that matter, we shouldn't be talking about Black Lives Matter, absolutely disagree. We should all be recognizing the empirical realities of ways in which minorities are disproportionately affected by systemic elements within our society. And by improving those issues, we are improving everyone's lives. So of course, all lives matter. And Black Lives Matter is one particular way we can focus on improving lives for all, including the Black Lives Matter protesters. I hope they protest everybody.
Yeah, well, this is the alternative to actually taking the mic out of someone's hands. If you can't get on stage and do that, you gather a crowd and you start yelling. And of course, if they are going to do this to two people, two candidates, they should do it to everyone.
Now, when this happened to Bernie Sanders, I'm sorry, Lewis, when this happened to Bernie Sanders, Fox News was criticizing him about how he handled it, sort of saying he was weak to allow the protesters to take over control of the rally. I wonder if the reaction will be the same about Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush, instead, we're not really sure whether that was the last question or not, but instead of doing his normal wrap up, typically Jeb Bush does a closing after taking questions, skipping that and just walking away. I wonder if we'll hear the same criticisms of how Jeb handled the Black Lives Matter protesters when comparing to what was the criticism of Bernie.
You mean from Fox News? No, I really doubt we'll be hearing any criticism of how Jeb Bush handled it.